Wow, it's April. It's been a while. Guess I better update you on what's been going on in my world. We're going to talk about some updates. We're going to talk about some whips. We're going to look at some haul. So sit back, relax, let's have a chat. Flosstube friends, welcome back to my channel. Warm welcome to all those lovely new subscribers. If you like what you see during this video, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, give me a thumbs up and let me know you like it. So you would think that with everything that's going on in the world and the fact that we're all doing social distancing and a version of lockdown regardless of wherever you are in the world, that I would have managed to achieve lots of stitching because I would have had lots of free time. That's not the case for me. So, so for those of you that know, I do a lot of working from home anyway. The industry and job that I currently do means that during a situation such as this, it doesn't really affect our business massively. In fact, it makes our business sort of go rather crazy. So I've been really busy working. That's not to say that I haven't managed to do anything. So, you're not here to listen to me ramble about what I do for a living. Let's look at what I do as a hobby. First up, let's go with the whip because it's been a while. I mean, the last actual update where I showed you what I've actually been doing was back in January. And then February, you got the Arizona trip. So that was February's video. March, well, this is sort of March. So this is basically what, but it's going to be a combination of what I managed in February and March. And unfortunately, both months I haven't found to be overly productive, but I'm not sweating that. I'm not sweating that. So, where should we start? Let's start with, so we have the lovely Andromeda Mirabilia. About now I'll be putting pictures up so that you can see what it looks like or what it should look like, and also where you last saw it if I've got pictures. So this one, where did it, how much time did Andromeda get? Let's have a little look. So Andromeda got 1 day, or one and a half days worth of stitching done on her. And the more I stitch on this, the more I'm like, I don't love it. I don't love it, but I'm sort of adamant that I'm not giving up on it because it's already sort of so much of it's done. It's wrong to stop. So here is where we've got to. Let me bring her in for you so you can have a good look. So obviously we already had that bit done. And this is the bit that I've been working on down the bottom here. So we've worked on this section here. And also we've done some more over on the corner. Bring that in. Excuse all the hanging threads. As you know, I'm a bit of a thread hanging type person. So that is where we've got to on her. She's not doing too badly. But like I say, I'm not loving her. I don't know, maybe I'll love her a bit more the further on I get, but I'm really just not loving her. But the more I sort of do of her, the more I think, you know what, it's already gone past the point of no return. Do you ever have those, you know, those projects where you've done so much of them that there's just no way that you can just stop and think, no, I'm going to let that one go. I tend to be able to make things UFOs if I haven't really done a lot, but I'm not very good at doing it when they've had a fair amount of my time. So that's Andromeda. So that's my lady. And obviously I haven't started any other ladies because I've always sort of said I'll only have one Mirabilia on the go at a time. It's a shame I can't do that on my heaven and earth, isn't it? So next up is the lovely Alternative Reality. About now you should be seeing a picture of what she should look like when she's completed and when you last saw her. Alternative Reality got 3 days worth of stitching over the course of the 2 months. Like I said, you know, I haven't really managed to get that much done on most things. So this is where we've got to. So we've done more over here on this corner section. It's so close, really, to a page finish. I mean, that there, one more little section there, that little bit there is a page finish. There's really no excuse for not actually having that done by now, but other than the fact that it's just not done yet. So that is where we've got to on the lovely alternative reality. Still love that one. Just, yeah. Not enough hours in the day, is there? Not enough hours in the day. So that is the lovely alternative reality. So she had a bit of a touch. Next up, we have the lovely autumn promise. Here's what it will look like when it's finished. This is sort of like it's a drawn thread and hard hanger piece. Absolutely love this. It's on the frame at the moment because I'm in the middle of doing some more. So let's put something behind it so that you can't see straight through it. And here is where we've got to. So I think the last time you saw it, I'd finished this band here. I've now completed the Serpentine Band with the cloister blocks. Or is it this bit? No, I think the last time you saw it, I'd done half of this band. So this band is now being completed. This is the Serpentine stitch with the cut work. And I've now moved on to the next block. I love this piece. I really, really love this piece. I can't wait for it to be finished. So we're actually, well, you can see because I've been marking on the chart where I'm at. So we're actually on this block here now. So as you can see, there's really not much to go. So, and then all it needs is beads, and I think I haven't done the wrapping of all the bars at the top. So I'll need to go back and do the wrapping of the bars, but absolutely love this. There we go. I've done the wrapping of these bars because it's not really wrapping. The Serpentine stitch is actually just got some, it's the way you pull the threads together, the remaining threads. So, love this piece, love it. So that is the lovely Autumn Promise. That's the one that I'm currently working on. What's next? So Autumn Promise so far has had 2 days. It had 2 days in March, and I'm currently working on it now, and it's in April. But obviously I can only include April's days as of April, when I do my April update. So next up we have Spring Quakers, Rosewood Manor. This was the one that I wasn't sure that I liked, and then I got it out and started working on a Q-snap on it and found that actually once I had it in my super duper new little desk stand or table stand, I actually find it really much easier to stitch on. Not quite sure where you last saw it, so this one got, how much did this one get? Spring Quaker I think got 2 days, but it wasn't 2 whole days, it was literally just 2 token gesture days, or in fact I think it might have only been a day. I think I was planning on stitching this while I was travelling in Arizona and then didn't. So I completed this section down here, so this is now complete, and I've started on this section over here. So yeah, not too bad, not too shabby. It's not a lot done on it, but I don't mind. I'd be very miserable if I did mind not actually getting touches on everything for days and getting massive amounts of progress done, because I never get that much progress done. So that is that one. So next up is the lovely Chatelaine Evening in the Park. So the Chatelaine Evening in the Park, I think this got 3 days on it. This one I've been trying to sort of work on the top corner, and it just keeps burning me out. So that is it in its total glory so far to date. And I have been working on the top section, she says, if I can bring it up high enough. So that was a section I already had done. I decided that I was moving over and I was working on this section over here. I can't see a thing of what you can see, so I'm hoping that you can see. Hang on, let me change hands so I can see what you're seeing. There we go. So this is the section that I've been working on, just here, and this section here. So yeah, I'm just sort of picking bits as I go on this now. But I really do need to start actually, you know, spending a bit more time on it, because I feel like it's on a bit of a go slow. But I think it's because I know that there's still so much to go, yet it looks like it's sort of close. So it's one of those. It's quite deceiving. It's a very deceiving little project. So that is the lovely evening in the park update. And then finally, see how quick this video could be if the only thing I spoke about was my whips. It's a good job I can waffle and I can talk to you all. So next up is the lovely long dog sampler, Castles in the Air. You'll know that I'd only just started on this one. This one was one of my newer projects. And about now you should be seeing where you last saw it. And I am pleased to report that whilst I was away in Arizona, I managed to get a page finish on this one. So, and this is where we've got to. So obviously I didn't go with one colour, I've gone with a few colours, and I've used petite treasure braid just to give it some bling and some sparkle, and I'm just sort of picking bits out that I think I want in the different colours. I have really no idea what I'm doing, but I like it. So that is where this one has got to. And I was super, super happy. And the more I stitch on it, the more I'm like, I really like that. And it is so different to anything else that I've stitched on. So, so different. And I've joined the Long Dog Sampler Facebook group. So there's a Facebook group for all of the Long Dog Samplers. So yeah, love it. And the fact that it's a page finish, yay! Yay me! But basically, since I got back from Arizona, that has not really been touched. So, yeah. But then not a lot has been touched. I haven't really touched on a lot of anything. Bad me. Bad. So that is the whips of everything that I've actually been stitching on. Like I said, I've been so busy. So busy. I fell down a rabbit hole with a whole new thing, which I will do in a completely separate video. So it's a bit of a surprise. So you'll find out about that soon enough. But I've basically been doing something else other than my stitching in my free time. Like I say, that's something for another day. So what else did I do? So I got a bit burnt out whilst I was, you know, coming back from Arizona and trying to sort myself out and get back into the swing of things. And then obviously the whole, you know, social distancing started. And I was too tired really to do any actual stitching. So I thought, you know what, let's have another go at this knitting malarkey. So I had some lovely wool. What is it? Sheepies, Our Tribe. Which is actually a sock wool. I got it to make socks, but then I found a pattern on Ravelry, which was for like a shawl that requires sock yarn. So this is where I got to. I don't know how much you can see of that. So it's got a bit of a pattern on it, as you can see. Let's give it a little tug. So yeah, I've got that little scrap. And I think I've already gone wrong, would you believe it? Because I seem to have more stitches on it than I should have. Now, I don't know if that's a problem or whether I can get away with that or not. So, yeah. I'm undecided whether I should unpick it. But I feel like I've just done so much again and then it's all gone wrong. Maybe I'm just not a knitter. Maybe I have to just accept that without someone to actually be on hand to help me in the room that can go, no, Teresa, don't do that, you need to do this. Maybe that's the problem. So I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? I've got to be honest, I'm finding this video much more difficult than I should do, but I think it's because it's been so long since I've done a video that I'm sort of out of the swing of things. Or at least that's how it feels. I feel like I'm not in my usual zone, people. So yeah, so I'm not sure that that's a fail yet until, yeah, maybe I need to sort of revisit the pattern. I thought the pattern looked really easy because it actually gave you the line by line and you can check off how many lines you've done and count properly, but I still don't manage to have the same amount of lines that I should have, so who knows? Who knows? So you'll remember that in January I was raving about the whole whip go thing, and I gave you a little picture of what my whip go looked like. Was it a whip go or was it a no-go? Well, I've got to be honest. February was a no-go. I didn't complete either of the tasks, and then March has come and gone and I didn't achieve that either. So I didn't do really very well with the whip go. It's more of a no-go. But that said, April I'm planning to basically reinstate it. So I haven't fell off the bandwagon completely. I just didn't have enough time. The other thing I think I'm going to do is I'm going to alter my whip go. So whereas I was saying I wanted 500 stitches on this and 500 stitches on that, when I actually created it, I wasn't being realistic, I don't think. I think they were really unrealistic goals. It was fine for January because obviously it was December into January and, you know, nothing else was happening in life. It was all post-Christmassy stuff. So I had a lot of time on my hands, whereas now it's like, you know, everything's ramped right up. Work is ridiculously busy, you know, the family is constantly here. I mean, this whole lockdown and social distancing has definitely changed the dynamics of my house, you know. I mean, I'm normally left to my own devices. Most weekends I'm left on my own, and most evenings I have a number of hours on my own. And obviously with everyone here, barring my husband, who's working but he's reduced hours and he's reduced on overtime. He's classed as a key worker, so he has to go to work. Yeah, I mean, he can't go to the gym, he can't go racing, he can't, you know, he can't go and see his friends. So he's here all the time. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm saying the dynamics of my family have changed. They have. Not all in a bad way. It's not like, oh, I don't have any time for myself. And because I have a very open plan house, there isn't really anywhere that you can go and lock yourself away and do a video or, you know, sit down and really concentrate on your stitching. And my husband, love him, is so not used to being stuck indoors and being stuck at home that he needs assistance to help him occupy his mind. So, of course, I have a list as long as your arm for him to do. But to make him do it means that I have to either partake or keep him occupied. So in doing that, it's made it so that my time has been vastly reduced in comparison to what it normally is. But these are strange times. We are living in a strange time and we are dealing with it all as best we can. The upside to it is, for the first time ever, and I say ever, meaning ever. I mean, I've always worked full-time since my daughter was born. Both me and my husband have always worked full-time. And we've always had the dynamics in this house that, other than maybe a Sunday roast, that would be about the only day that we would all sit down at a table and eat together. And by forcing us into this lockdown and forcing us into this social distancing, I can honestly say that most evenings now, we all sit down as a family and actually talk. You know, the kids, I say the kids loosely. So my daughter and her boyfriend, who is living with us, they come out, they sit and eat dinner with us. Me and my husband sit with them and eat dinner, and we actually chat. You know, the mobile phones get put down. I would love to say that the TV's turned off, but of course it isn't. My house always has a TV or a radio on. I don't know. My husband has the thing about he has to have something going on in the background. But it's definitely brought the family together. But as you know, being people that love hobbies, and stitching being more of a solitary hobby, It's very difficult to be a solitary hobby type person when you've got a bustling family that's surrounding you and wants a little piece of you, or wants you to sit and have dinner, or wants you to interact with them because they're all rather bored. So, but like I say, it's not a negative, it's definitely a positive. So whilst I was out in Arizona, I stopped off at the attic, and everyone sent me messages from the last video when I sort of shared the Arizona trip. What did you buy, Teresa? Have you got a massive haul? Do you know what? I have to disappoint everybody. I don't have a massive haul. I actually bought one thing. I say one thing. It was one project. So when you go into a place like that, when you've never been to an L&S or a shop or a store full of all that goodness, the problem is, unless you go in with a list of things that you know you wanted, you're in awe of everything. And I was so overwhelmed by the whole thing that I came out with only one thing. I mean, now I'm home and I know what was there, and I'm sitting there thinking about it. You know, I could have bought the whole shop. I really could have. I could have bought the whole shop. But I didn't. So, and as usual, I was totally restrained because I normally am. And I only bought one thing. So I bought Butterflies and Bees by Wendy KC Designs. So let me take it out of its plastic so you can see it. So this is the design that I bought. So it's like a sampler. Here we go. Now, in the picture, this is a bit like, it's a bit like the chatelaine. So I've shown you that picture, and even when I look at the picture, I'm like, doesn't really look much on the picture. But the reason I actually bought this was because I saw this stitched in the shop, and wow, it looks a million times different to this picture. And that was the beauty about going to the attic, is that they had so much up on the walls and surrounding you. There was just samplers everywhere. It was just, yeah, I was in awe. So with that, I bought obviously the material. So the material it called for was a 32 count Belfast antique white. So nice and plain. There we go. And I also purchased all of the threads whilst I was there. So it's mainly Gentle Arts. Yeah, so it's Gentle Arts and Weeks, I believe. Classic Colourworks. So let me just show you the colours. She says, if I can pick them all up. So there's the colours that it calls for. And some petite treasure braid. There we go. So that was the only thing that I bought whilst I went to the attic, which makes me sort of sit down and think, really? Is that the best I could do? Given that I was so excited to go. But it was so nice to meet. There was a lady that had messaged me or left a message on one of my Flosstube videos when I'd said that I was going out to Arizona and that we was maybe going to the attic. And it was her that had contacted me saying, oh, when are you coming? When are you coming? I went, well, I don't know. And it was so lovely to have met up with her and actually met her and put a face to the name. So whilst I was in Arizona, I decided while I was at Deborah's that I was going to throw caution to the wind and buy myself another chatelaine from European Cross Stitch. So it's the Frosty Knot Garden. I ordered the full kit except the fabric because I like to choose my own fabric, and also it doesn't come with the chart. I placed the order on the 1st of March and I received a notification of shipping today, which is the 3rd of April. So I don't think that's bad at all. So I just need to wait for it to turn up. I do need to order the chart, which I will do directly through the Chatelaine website. I'll put a little link here below. But yeah, so I'm really looking forward to getting that. And I'm going to see whether I get hit with shipping, because this will be my 3rd Chatelaine arriving. The first one got through without getting charged any charges or any additional charges. The second one was my Sleeping Beauty, which is sitting waiting in the wings to be started. That one got hit with a lot of charges, so it will be interesting to see whether Frosty Knot Garden gets through without being charged or not, whether I end up paying income duty on it coming into the country. So watch this space. I'm sure that as soon as it turns up, I will find out. What else to tell you? So before I went off to Arizona, I decided that I wanted to order myself some more needle minders. I happened to sort of stumble across some ones that I rather liked. Now, the only trouble is that I think I ordered 2 but got 3. And I've only got 2 to show you because obviously one is on a project somewhere and I just don't know where it is. So I went to the lovely, I think it's Denkai Designs. Here's our card. And I couldn't resist myself when I saw this one. So there was 2 fairies. There was this one and another one. I think the other one is definitely on a project somewhere. So this is the one I purchased. She's just too cute. A little fairy. And it was another fairy. But when I received it, I got a lovely message from the lady at Denkai Designs saying that she loves my Flosstube videos. But she threw another one in for me. So I got a third one for free. And it's a little butterfly. So thank you so, so much. And I'm so, so pleased that you like my videos. But these came so quickly. So these I ordered back in the 5th of February. And I think in less than a week these turned up. So, and as well as that, in the little packet, I also got a packet of Love Heart Sweets. Look. You know, the ones that sort of say little signs, little messages on there, like love you and yeah. I haven't opened them yet. They're sweeties. I'm trying to be good. I'm trying to stay away from the sweets. Of which, when we're in isolation and we're in lockdown, it's really difficult to behave yourself and not eat yourself silly. So, what else to tell you? So, finally, I think that's finally. Let me go back to my list of things that I was going to talk to you about. So whilst I was in Arizona, Deborah done a whip parade where she shared with us all of her lovely, lovely whips. And then obviously we was all going through everything that she's got. She's got a lot. And one of the ones that came up that she said that she was never going to stitch on because it was just too big. She had too many other projects that she wanted to stitch on. Was one of the Hands Across the Sea, or it's from Hands Across the Sea, is a limited and special edition celebrating the kings and queens of Great Britain. So here's the chart, of which it's more than just a chart, it's like a whole book. And it's a bit of a monster. I mean, it's huge. I can't remember for the life of me the size of the fabric that she went with, whether it was a 28 count, because it suggests on here 28 count, 32, 36 or 40. So I'm not 100% sure what fabric it is. I'll find out from Deborah. I mean, it comes with everything, all the bits and pieces. A lovely card. But it is a book. So for those that know about these designs, you'll know that it's a massive, great book. But when you see the size of this project, you'll understand why the chart is a book like this. So I took this off Deborah's hands. And when I say I took it, she didn't just gift it to me. I actually bought it off of her. Here's the threads. These are all Avera Schwarz, which, as you know, I love Avera Schwarz threads. So the fact that it's done with Avera Schwarz threads was just like, well, I'd be a fool not to. That's just some of them. There's a bag full of the rest here. So Deborah had this fully kitted up lover. It probably cost her a fortune. So I took it off her hands for her and said that although she'd started it, I would see if I could carry it on for her. I mean, she said that she hasn't done a lot, but it looks like a lot. I mean, this is the size of the fabric. The fabric is huge. So this gives you a good indication of how big this project is. Now, I can't take credit for the stitching that's already happened here and how beautiful it is, because this is Deborah's work. So let me bring you in. So this is where Deborah got it to. Look at those stitches. Look how beautiful the stitching is. She's done such a fabulous job with the stitching. And I'm just hoping that I can do an equally good job with the stitching and carry it on. When I saw it and I saw the colours and it's so not me. I don't know what's come over me recently, but there's things that I've never been drawn to before, and when I saw this I was like, that is beautiful. So I decided I would take it on and I would see whether I could do it. So this is a inherited whip. So I didn't start it, and I cannot take credit for what is already stitched there. I will only be able to take credit for when I pick it up and start adding to those stitches. So this is an additional whip now to my list of whips. In fact, I think I will add that probably starting next week. I haven't got to it yet. There's just too many other things that I need to be stitching on. So yeah, so I've added another whip to my whip list. But I'm really looking forward to sort of giving it a go. Although, you know, when you're sort of deep down, you're a bit worried that you're not going to do it justice, not in the same way that Deborah's stitching was. But just to give you, this is basically the inside spread of what the design looks like. I mean, it's huge. It is a monster. But I love it. Absolutely love it. And the fact that it's in the threads that I absolutely adore stitching with just made it even more that I had to have it. So there you go. That is all of the stitching stuff that I've inherited, that I bought, that I've accomplished, or not accomplished as the case may be. So like I said, on the whip go, I'm going to adapt my whip go. My whip go, basically, I think the goals are too big. I think I went a little overzealous. I don't have enough free time in my life to be doing 500 stitches on 2 projects every month. So I'm going to adapt it and change it a little bit. But just to make it a bit more realistic. If I know that I've only got 100 stitches that I've got to get on a project in 1 month, and then maybe 50 or 100 in another project, I think that's a bit more doable. So I'm going to adapt my whip go, and I will share that with you next month as to, yeah, I'll share what the new adapted version is. So life update for those that are interested. For those that are not, bye-bye. Thank you for hanging out with me. So life update, as you know, the situation in the world with the coronavirus actually kicked off whilst I was in Arizona. Managed to get back from Arizona, was supposed to have gone to work the following Monday, didn't go to work, was told to stay at home. Obviously my mum, being that she's over the age of 70 and has underlying health conditions, my mum is in that 12 weeks of, you know, no contact to the outside world and almost total isolation. That can't really work very well when my mum lives right there. So obviously, you know, I have a lot of contact with my mum. So when I go down there, I talk to her. We still sort of keep a 2 metre distance between us as a just in case. But she's doing okay. She's not got cabin fever yet. I think she's a bit disappointed that she can't just go off out and go to the shops. But as I said to her, there's nothing stopping her going out on her scooter and just riding around the street for half an hour. I said to get a breath of fresh air if she wants to. Just don't go near any people. And obviously, because I deal with my mum, and obviously there's no reason for me to leave the house. My husband is like I said, is a key worker, so he has to go to work. So because he has to go to work, it makes sense that he does the shopping. You know, he he is the only connection to the outside world that we have at this house. You know, my daughter and Ben, her boyfriend, they don't leave the house. We don't let them go out. Obviously, I don't go out to the shops or anywhere where there's people, because obviously I'm dealing with my mum, which really only leaves Darren. So Darren is the only one in this household that is leaving the house. He's going to work still, reduced hours, and obviously not doing overtime. But he also does all of the shopping and all of the out of the house stuff. So when I say that we're in sort of total lockdown here, we sort of are. I mean, basically, since I come back from Arizona, I think I've left the house once, other than when I've gone for a walk with my husband or I've gone for a run, which obviously, with the fact that I'm not doing any dancing, because dancing all got stopped and cancelled because of social distancing, I need to do some form of exercise, so I've started going for a run again, which is good. I mean, not sure my hips are going to agree with me, because obviously that was the reason that I stopped running in the first place, but yeah, enjoying doing a little bit of activity, because I'm finding it that I could just sit all day. You know, my job is sitting down all day, not going to the office. There's no walking that's going on, which would normally happen. And there's no stepping away from the computer like that would normally happen. So yeah, so it's important for those of you that are working from home and that do sort of this real sedate version, you know, if you're used to being more active. My company is sort of advocating that, you know, you can't just sit in front of the computer all day. Put times in the calendars, or block out time in the calendars, set reminders on your phone so that you make sure that periodically you're getting up, you go for a walk in the garden or go for a walk around the house, or just do something other than sit there, which, yeah, that's the bit that I'm struggling with. Is I find that I just get so absorbed and sucked into work that I forget that I need to get up and move, and then I'm as stiff as a board. So the whole going out, doing a little bit of walking and a little bit of running and a bit of cycling is actually doing me the world of good. But I really do need to consciously make a conscious effort to try and move a little bit more, other than just sitting static, because that's what's happening. What else that was disappointing? So there was two other really disappointing things. So today I was supposed to have been in London going to see Disney on Ice. I'd got front row seats for me, my niece, my sister-in-law and Lauren. We was all going to go to watch Disney on Ice. It was going to be our most amazing experience. Obviously it got cancelled, so I've not gone to that. And also I was due, I think last weekend or the weekend before, to go to my first ever stitching morning with the lovely ladies at Hornchurch. So Susan, who I actually met at the Stitching and Knitting show, she recognised me from Flosstube, introduced herself, we exchanged contact details, and she invited me to a stitching session that they have locally to me. I think once a month or once every few months, and they just sit and stitch for a few hours. And obviously she invited me back in sort of towards the end of 2019, had it all in the calendar, was all ready to go, but unfortunately due to the coronavirus it got delayed. So I was gutted. I was actually really looking forward to sort of going and meeting up with Susan and the ladies for the first time ever. But that's not to say it won't happen, it's just going to be delayed. So I think that's it. I think that's all I can share with you. I mean, I am rather hoping that now sort of I've made this video, that I can start getting into a bit of a routine of the videos. And the fact that I'm actually at home more now than ever, I'm rather hoping that it'll inspire me to try and do a little bit more stitching, maybe do some more videos, some stitch with me videos. But I have got the garden to contend with, because spring is here, my tulips are rocking, the primulas are out, the daffodils are out. I do love this time of year. I started everything off in the greenhouse. You know that I'm very much into flowers and was a little bit less about vegetables. Well, because of the coronavirus and the fact that, you know, we're all going to be stuck at home, I ordered a veg trug. I'll put a little picture here, because just in case you don't know what one is. I've got limited space here because I'm not prepared to compromise my flower beds for vegetables. So I'm going to try this whole raised beds vegetable growing. So I've got my little plants, my little plug plants at the ready in the cold frame outside. So I'm just waiting on my veg truck, but I thought I ordered it in good time, but I haven't seen it yet, and there's still no sign of anything shipping. So I'm hoping that it's going to turn up soon, because otherwise my little plants are going to die and they need to be planted. So yeah, so I've gone on this whole, I'm going to grow some vegetables this year. So that'll be another little bit of fun for me in the garden. But obviously the weather is starting to turn. So this Sunday we are predicted, I say loosely, we are predicted to get 20 degrees and sunny. So I'm rather hoping that that is the case, because I will then be outside in the sunshine and we're going to have a little family barbecue. So I've got plenty to keep me occupied, plenty. So with everything that's going on in the world, I wish you all safety, and to take good care of yourselves. And I think, given that we've got the sort of community where we post our videos, I mean, obviously Flosstube, this is a perfect platform for us all to just keep in touch and make sure that people that are absolutely isolated because of this coronavirus are still in contact with people and still got some connection to the outside world. And what better way to connect with each other than over our hobby? So yeah, so I wish you all exceptionally well. So please, people, stay indoors, stay safe, and stay happy. Until next time, people, bye bye for now.